Welcome to Geopolitical Horizon. Today I want to look at the potential for new upcoming JCPOA negotiations and the situation around Iran. So in June, they stopped the JCPOA negotiations in waiting for Ebrahim Raisi to be inducted as the new president of Iran. That will happen tomorrow in Tehran with national and international guests present. The question is now, when will JCPOA negotiations resume and what will happen? Well, JCPOA negotiations went on for months until June, but they stalled, and there seems to be quite a distance between the Iranian and US positions. This is important to understand why the negotiations will maybe fall also again apart. So the US position is that they think that Iran really needs to have an agreement as quick as possible so that they can have some sanctions lifted. So the US position basically is that Iranians are quite desperate. Well, the question is the US analysis of the Iranian position right? It seems that the Iranians are very resilient. The Iranian economy, while it has been damaged by US sanctions, is also stronger than maybe the US thinks. Iranians were able to increase exports of oil, even though US sanctions, of course, also hampered it. Now, the Iranians on their side, they want guarantees that US sanctions will be lifted completely if they do enter an agreement. The Biden administration on its side now apparently wants a longer and stronger agreement. What this means and what this entails remains to be seen, but the Iranians have been very clear that they do not want any other issues included in the JCPOA agreement other than it was negotiated in the first agreement. The Iranians also know that if there is a Republican president that will win the next US presidential election in 2024, then the US may pull out of a potential JCPOA agreement again. So now, 2021, it's only about, over three and a half years until the next election, less than 2.5 years, in fact. Therefore, the Iranians on their side, they are also being quite wary. They do want the sanctions lifted. Raisi has been very clear about that. But again, it remains to be seen what will happen. In negotiations, anything can happen, and over the next, I think, weeks and months, when the JCPOA negotiations resume, probably in Geneva, we're going to see how it unfolds. But this could take some time, and again, it's not completely clear whether we're going to have a JCPOA agreement implemented or not. Remains to be seen. So what are the consequences if we do not have a JCPOA agreement implemented? Well, probably we're going to see more potential risks increase around the Persian Gulf, in the region. The Iranians are very clear and adamant about their, national integrity, their sovereignty, and their national interests, as are the US position and regional partners. So in terms of going forward, we have also seen maritime issues recently in the region. There is increased tension between Iran and Israel. That's been coming and going over years. Remains to be seen where that goes. But the Iranians have also been very clear that if any military attack is taken against Iran, then Iran will retaliate and there will be a full-blown war. Therefore, remains to be seen where we're headed, but JCPOA negotiations likely will resume within the coming weeks or potentially near term. So that is most likely going to happen. But thank you again so much for joining, and please remember to subscribe to Geopolitical Horizon, and I look forward to see you again.